Got us a package here. Doing some maintenance today on the trailer. I cleaned all these extensions off last night, power washed them. I got to take some cleaner and get this little rust off here, but we're gonna be doing some lubricating on this trailer. I gotta lubricate all these extensions, grease the whole thing up. So that's what I'm getting into today. So let me show you what we got in this box. Slip plate, dry graphite, number 1. This is what I use on the trailer. This trailer is very much overdue to get the extensions lubricated. It's been a while, but the thing is you want to get your extensions clean, and ideally you want it to be warm outside. And it has been warmer. It was actually 65 the other day, but it's cooled off again. So I decided to pull this trailer in the shop and just do this inside. I don't like to do it inside because it is kind of messy, but I decided I'm gonna put some cardboard down underneath where I'm gonna be working so I don't get this all over the floor. Not like it matters. My floor is already all stained. It's been that way since we moved here, but it hasn't gotten any cleaner since I've moved here. The way I apply this, I just use a paintbrush and put it on the extensions. The next thing I got was one of these, grease joint Rejuvenator. So I've got a grease zerk that is plugged up. Let's not do that again. I guess the way this works, you fill this tube with WD-40 or whatever you want to use, some kind of penetrating fluid. And you put this in and get that on your grease fitting, and you just start tapping this with a hammer. So we're gonna try that. I'm really hoping this works because I could not get that thing unplugged. I tried heat, I tried different things and I can't get it unplugged. So yeah, that's a pretty simple little tool, but I hope it works. Man, I've struggled to get grease in my one leveling axle grease fitting is not taking grease at all. And it started to squeak now, or creak and groan whenever I use it. I've tried squirting grease up there. In case I can't get that to work, I bought another can of this stuff, the red grease in a can. You can just squirt it up into tight little areas, but I don't know. I'm hoping I don't need to use this stuff. I got the extensions as clean as I could, and what I use to clean that is just one of these wire wheels. So it gets it clean, but I think I'm gonna take some brake cleaner and a rag and wipe these things down. So when you go to apply this graphite, you gotta kind of think of it as putting on paint. So you gotta kind of prep the steel like you're painting. Now obviously, this is not a professional prep job. I got it as clean as I possibly could, get all the grime and stuff out of there. That way the graphite can stick real good. And ideally, you wanna let this sit for sure a day, 24 hours. Ideally, you wanna let it sit for 2 days. And if you can, let it sit outside in the sun when it's hot outside. But right now it's not hot outside, it's like 45 degrees. So I got my stove going. I just started it. It's 50 in here right now. I'm hoping by the time I'm done with this, it's up to about 65, but we'll see. I'm gonna get started. Another thing you're gonna wanna do when you do this, or if you do this, is some gloves, because this stuff is not fun to get off your hands. Don't ask me how I know. So I've shaken this up for probably about 2 minutes. It actually looks like it's basically ready to use. That's pretty much how it's supposed to look. Just take a stick here and yeah, I don't even know if I need to do much else with that. That's what we're looking for right there. If you guys have a can of this sitting around and it's been sitting around for a while, maybe you used a little bit out of it and you go back to open it up, it's probably not going to look like that. It's going to be really thin up top, and then the actual, I guess the graphite sinks to the bottom of the can. So you have to take something like that and get that stirred up really good, get it mixed up, and it should look like this. Like if I go down to the bottom of the can, I don't feel anything extra thick down there. So this is what we're looking for. I don't even think I have to mix this anymore, so I'm not going to waste my time doing it. Just set that right there. We'll probably use this quite a bit of this today, so we'll start off with half. Okay, now we apply. This brush is not very great. So when you go to put this on, don't be afraid to get it on nice and thick. Now the worst part of this whole job is actually cleaning the extensions and getting it ready for the graphite. This part is the easy part. You just apply and let it dry. The thing I really love about this graphite is once it's dried, it's slippery, it's a lubricant, but it's clean. So you can rub up against it with your jeans or whatever, and you're not going to get full of grease. And that's pretty much it for the tongue. Now I know it looks pretty rough and whatever, but once the first time I pull this tongue in, it'll smooth out all this out, and it does get very slippery. It's pretty impressive stuff. Now this is my least favorite one to do. This and the tail is the hardest because you gotta focus more on the bottom side here. It's not horrible, but it's not great. And on these extensions, I'm gonna do the bottom side, both sides, and also the top. Even though most of the metal on metal contact happens here on the bottom because gravity. So yeah, the tongue extension, the metal on metal is happening up top. This front extension, the metal on metal contact is happening mostly here on the bottom. Same with the tail. So that's what I like to focus on is the bottom, but I do like to, I like to give the whole extension a nice coat. It makes it look a lot better. And this stuff you can use this stuff on anything that you need, that you would typically use grease on. You can use this stuff on, like a fifth wheel, but this is really the only thing I use it on. I did have quite a bit of a hard time getting this extension clean here on the bottom. So I don't know how well this stuff is going to hang on, but we'll see. When I use this stuff, I'm pretty generous with it. Don't be afraid to put it on thick. One thing you have to realize, the thicker you put it on, the longer it's going to take to dry, but don't be scared to use it. Okay, that's one side. Well, we got the front done, got the tongue coated. Same with the front extension. Now we just let it dry I'm gonna let it dry for about 2 days. Today's Saturday, so it'll sit the rest of the day, today, Sunday, and then probably gonna use it Monday. Now I just gotta do the tail. All right, let's see if we can. It says to fill this with some kind of oil, penetrating oil. I think WD-40 works. I don't know. Let's try it. This is the fitting that does not take any grease, so I'm going to try and use this tool, see if it'll work. I'm not sure where to set you guys. That thing is not moving. Well, I have not had any luck with the grease joint Rejuvenator. Didn't work for me. I tapped and I tapped and I tapped, and then I tapped out. That was it for me. It shows on the directions to do gentle tapping, okay? I tried gentle tapping, nothing. So I started tapping it a little bit harder, and then pretty soon I was just beating on the thing, and nothing was given. So I'm not saying this thing is a complete waste of money, because I mean, it is a good idea. I like the idea of it, but if your grease fitting is, I guess, as plugged up as mine is, it probably isn't gonna work. So, I mean, it's worth a shot. It was like 30 bucks. So it was worth a shot, but it didn't work. So I'm gonna have to figure something else out. I did spray some grease up in there just to keep it lubed up, but I know that's still not the proper way to grease it. But it's not creaking or anything, so this here is still a little bit tacky. It'll be probably a couple hours before it's actually dry. I put it on pretty thick. So it'll sit here for the rest of the weekend, and yeah, I think that's all I got for today. I'm gonna get cleaned up. Wash the floor here. I dumped a bunch of PB Blaster there. So I tried 2 different things in this contraption. Tried WD-40, that didn't work. Tried PB Blaster, that still didn't work. So it's just plugged. I don't know. I have to tear it apart and just put a new fitting on there or something. But yeah. But I did get everything else greased. That is the only grease fitting that doesn't take grease on this trailer. Got the side shift tail. I got that lubed up down through there. So yeah. Check out the perfect fit. I mean, there is about 2 inches to spare on my shelf there. Now, if this shelf wasn't here, I would have another, 16 inches to the wall. I'm inches away from the door here. Got a couple inches there and a couple inches in the back. So the shop is 48 feet deep. Of course, that is measuring outside, the outside measurement, so it's a little bit less than 48 in here. Plus the shelf is sticking out about a foot. So this thing's stretched out all the way. I know from here to the tail is supposed to be 38 feet. It's actually almost 39 feet. So you add another about 5.5, 6 feet to here. So yeah, it's about 45 feet, but it fits in here just perfect, stretched out. Okay, this side is, the front extension here is actually dry to the touch. I can touch that now. Now, it's rough right now, but once this gets smoothed out, it's gonna be slick. You can see kind of a film that's coming off yet, but it'll dry up. I got the tongue really thick. That's gonna take, I should have actually smoothed that out a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna get cleaned up and get out of here, so see y'all next time.